Welcome back to the Urbstead. I'm Ben, and today we're doing some tidying up. The backyard has been a mess. And as you've seen in many of the past videos, when I walked through the backyard, we had a bed frame, we had a pile of pallets, which that's still here. We had a bunch of branches and just junk. Lots and lots of junk. So today, you're gonna see me tidy up the backyard. And this is truly in an effort to prepare the way for the next big project, which is the gutters. If you haven't seen an explanation on what that project is gonna be, go ahead and hit the tag on the top of the screen now. So stick around as I get this place finally cleaned up, as I probably should have done a long time ago. This is a section of the yard that has frankly never been usable. And I definitely could have changed that a lot sooner, but I'm really thankful for the push that I'm getting from wanting to get this gutter project on the run. Back here, I did find some really cool, I found something really cool. I found that we have a hose bib on the back of our house. Now, that hose bib looks to be kind of inoperable at the moment, but it might be worth the effort to try and see if we can get it working on our own, and if not, see if we can get a plumber's perspective on how to get this thing back in shape. Could be a lot of use, but at the same time, with the addition of this water catchment system, we might not need it. Maybe. I spent quite a bit of time working with these wires, and if you're wondering what it is that I'm ripping off of my house and why I'm okay with it, is these are all just old coaxial cables, which were used from like the cable company. Apparently whoever lived here before us had cable in every room. And I'm not joking, every single room. What I just cut off was about half of what was in that same spot before. And it's still a nasty bird's nest of cables over here near the door. But I'm gonna leave that there as it is. I do know that there is one cable that sneaks in our back door into our utility room and then into the house. That is the only one that's actually live and carrying the internet. And the only reason I'm not touching the rest of this here is I want to be able to do the diligence to make sure there's no other connections that I'm missing, that if I cut those, it's not going to interfere with the main service. I already did that once. That's why that new cord is now just sticking into the back door. I did slice the actual internet cable and had to have them come out and replace it back from the telephone pole. So I'm really glad that I got all that done. And the phone line that's there, it's really small, it's out of the way. I'm not too worried about it. I think everything else, I think this backyard is ready. I think this part, the fascia board, the gutter placement, everything is ready and clean to execute the project. We're gathering materials, so that will be an upcoming and imminent project, and looking forward to that. Now, as you also saw, I spent way longer than I wish I would have had to on this honeysuckle, and I'm not actually done. As you can see, it's basically married in with the fence, which is the case for a lot of this along the line here. My dream would be to be able to get out every honeysuckle bush here. And you already saw that I did part of that job out in the yard beyond, but it's just full of honeysuckle. And I would really love to be able to let a little bit more light in the backyard. But what I won't be doing is I will not be taking down this mulberry tree or that mulberry tree. At least not for now. The chickens love it way too much. But you can see here, this is really the origination of all of our honeysuckle problems. I mean, it is a literal forest in miniature. So what I'm finding is that honeysuckles are trying to creep back into the yard, parts of the yard where they have been removed from. And you know, that's because of roots left in the ground, it's because of sticks that fall and aren't getting picked up, so they're rooting themselves, or it's because of the numerous amounts of seeds that are getting picked up by birds and other things and dropped everywhere without regard. So that's fine. They're easy to dig up, and really if you just take any sort of shovel or hoe and you just lightly scrape the soil, it pulls all of those seedlings out, which is what you need to do. Trust me. So I think the backyard here is looking great. I think I'm happy with where I've gotten it. I'm pleased with how it looks. Going forward, I might make a couple of modifications to the looks. I'm debating on bringing back a couple loads of mulch to lay down here. But as I came back here, I just realized that the chickens are actually using this spot as a dust bath. And I really want to encourage that they find more and more of those places around the yard to do that in. It's a pretty important thing for chickens to do, as it kind of keeps the pests down. I don't think I'm going to put mulch here if that's what they're using this for. But it could be space in the future for raised beds as well. The lighting in the backyard's not great for plants. As you can tell, I'm surrounded by a really lovely canopy from the maple and the mulberry. But one thing I do know is that, well, the year we grew garlic back here, it did phenomenal. And that is the future plan with this attempted carrot and beet bed over here. So I don't know. Could this space be, or could this space over here be for additional garlic? Maybe, if we find ourselves needing that much garlic, which is possible. A really cool thing about digging in your yard at the house, especially if it's a house that you've only lived in for a couple of years, is you start to find things. And I found these. And there's actually kind of a whole brick pad here underneath the AC unit that extends quite a bit on either side, which is pretty cool. Maybe they had a grill back here, or I don't know what else you would put. I know there's a hose bib here, so maybe that's also where they set their hose rack or box or whatever. But the really cool thing is, it's they're Ohio bricks. I'm not sure how many brick yards in Ohio make Ohio bricks, but I know one of the brick yards in my hometown made Ohio bricks. Kind of neat. So that's the backyard tidied up and finished. So now we are truly ready to be able to get ladders in here and to get anything that we need to be able to help us construct the gutter that's going to go along the house. We've also cleared off the fence behind me so that the process of plumbing the IBC tote itself will be much simpler. I believe after clearing that spot, I've decided that right there behind the fence is where I would like the tote to sit. We'll put down the concrete blocks and we'll set it there just to make sure, but I feel pretty certain that that's exactly where I want it to be. I love that the hole out into the side yard is nice and open, and I believe that the size of this hole and opening is going to allow us for a little bit of space to look out, as well as that tote sitting right here. What I want to make sure is that we're getting that tote as close to the downspout as possible, with enough room to do the kind of plumbing that we need to for things like an overflow and for things like a debris grate if we decide that the grate on the gutter is too expensive. So thank you for sticking around. Today's video has been short and sweet, and I hope that you enjoyed seeing progress made. I know I always love getting to see someone make steps towards a goal that they really want to achieve. And that's what happened here today. Thank you for coming by, and as always, grow on. Again, if you would like to see the previous gutter video, go ahead and click this and enjoy.